Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of properties of equality. This is standard A.12E in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 18 of the 2016 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we need to find an equivalent equation here, and you notice that we're starting with, looks just like a basic equation with two variables, 3x minus 4y equals 6, but what we've done here is we've solved for y. So really what we're doing is we're trying to isolate the y and then solve that without necessarily losing any part of this. So most of us can do this instinctively. We've been doing it for so many years, we're not even sure that we're using properties of equality. So let's kind of do this step by step. I'm going to call out the different properties of equality as we try to isolate this y by itself. And we need to keep in mind the orders of operation. We use the order of operation when we are, simplifying an expression. We go from the top down. But when we are trying to isolate a variable, we actually go from the bottom up. So we take care of the parentheses last. The exponent is going to be second to last. We really take care of the operations first. And when we're talking about operations, we talk about our addition, subtraction first, and then our multiplication and division next. So we want to get that y by itself. Okay. So what do we have over here? Well, we've got a 3 times x. I've got a 3x minus 4y, and then I've got a 4 times y. So I've got three different operations here, 2 multiplies and a subtract. The lowest one on that list is a subtract, okay? And then, so I'm going to eventually get rid of that minus right there. But really, this whole chunk just needs to go away, right? So as I'm looking at how do I get rid of these three different things, I can get rid of this whole thing by itself, because it's just being held on, by this subtraction here, right? So we're at the addition and subtraction level. So this whole chunk is a positive 3x, okay? So what I could do is I can subtract 3x from both sides. Now, how do we know that? This is actually called the subtraction property of equality. I'm just going to call that POE. That says if A equals B, then A minus C equals B minus C. You can subtract the same thing from both sides of an equation, get the same answer. So those two are going to go away. I'm going to get negative 4y equals 6 minus 3x. Now, what is left? I'm actually multiplying a negative 4 times this y. So how do I get rid of a negative 4 that's being multiplied? Well, the inverse operation, I'm at this level right here right now. The inverse of multiply is to divide. I can divide both sides by negative 4, and that is actually called the division property of equality, POE. So that says if A equals B, then A over C is the same as B over C. You can divide both sides by the same quantity and get the same result. I'm just choosing to divide both sides by negative 4. So if I divide negative 4y by negative 4, the negative 4's will cancel out. So I'm just left with y. Now what I'm left with here is, let's just distribute this out. I've got a negative, I got a 6 over negative 4, and then I've got a 3, I'm just going to say a plus, I'm going to separate those out, plus negative 3 over negative 4, right? So the two negatives are going to cancel out, so I'm going to end up with, let's put that first, because we always want to put the x's first, right? I've got the 3/4 x, and then this is going to, because it's a positive, because the two negatives cancel out. There's only one negative there, so I can simplify that 6 over 4 to 3 halves. So what I did is I just distributed out this negative 4 to both of these terms, and those two negatives made a positive, and so we've got 3/4 x minus 3 half, which is sitting right there. Our answer is J.